Hello everyone, my name is Bree and welcome to Documented Journey. Today's video is going to be a process video. I started my new documented life sketchbook, and this is a Stillman and Byrne beta series, and it is portrait. It is a soft cover, and this is probably one of my favorite books. I really like the Delta too. The Delta is green, and that's probably why I like it the most. So when I start a new sketchbook, I get a little nervous by that very first page. You know, I want that first page to be good. And I kind of almost feel like if that first page isn't good, then that is going to be what the whole book is going to kind of look like. So what I've come up with is, I've come up with a way to get me started in my book and excited about my book. And that is by sketching my favorite go-to supplies at the moment. Every sketchbook that I start has different supplies, and then sometimes throughout the sketchbook I add supplies, and I will draw those in my sketchbook, just so that way it kind of is a documentation of my life. Documented life sketchbook. So anyway, if you'd like to see this process video of me sketching my favorite supplies and kind of going over what my favorite supplies are at the moment, then just keep watching. So I previously had everything sketched out, and I'm going to be outlining everything. This very first pen, or pencil actually, that I'm outlining is called the Sanford Turquoise, and it is a drafting pencil. I really enjoy drafting pencils because I feel like if I did want to do a pencil sketch, it's thick enough to fill in a lot of areas, but at the same time you can get a sharp point. This particular pencil has a sharpener on the end of the cap, so I can just pull off the cap, I can sharpen the lead, and then I'm good to go. So I do not have to carry a sharpener. So working from left to right, the next pen over is called my Staedtler Fineliner Pen. I have a hate-love relationship for fineliners, and this one has been my go-to favorite. I normally only buy fineliners in the .05 nib or tip because I use my fountain pens for the most part, and fountain pens just can't get that fine of a point. So I really like this fineliner. I have had it for about 6 months now, and it's still going strong, and so I would highly recommend it. The next one over is my Pilot Kikuno, and I really do love that pen. I think it's super cheap, and it's easy to work with, it's easy to write with. It is an extra fine, so I have outlined most everything in that pen first, which I'm using right now as we speak. And while I capped it, I broke the cap in this video, so I'm kind of upset about that. But moving on, let's see, my hand moves. I drew in my Lamy Safari. It's my purple one. That one I get the most use out of. It has a broad nib on it, so I use it for all my thicker lines. I drew the cap over on the right side of the page, and I drew the pen with the nib showing on the left side of the page. So then let's go to the very top. The very top, you see a silver black velvet travel brush in size 4. I love silver black velvet brushes. I get the travel brushes just because I don't have a traveling case for my brushes, so it's just the easiest way for me to travel with them. But if I had to take just one, I would probably take the size 4. I do some detailed work, so the size 4 just kind of suits my style. Let's go down, I guess. Down is going to be 3 tubes of Daniel Smith watercolors, and I actually do pick my favorite as of right now. The top one is of course going to be sap green. I don't think I could live without that color, honestly. The next one down is called Brown Ochre. I had a really hard time choosing between that one and Raw Sienna, but in the end I chose that because I have been doing my journal girls, and that is a good a darker skin tone over my peach Tombow marker. So I picked that one. And then the last one is going to be Cobalt Teal Blue. It actually isn't probably my favorite, but it is my newest watercolor, and so I wanted to include that in the book just so that way I kind of knew that it was something that I have purchased recently. So if you move down from the paints, those two water brushes are my go-to water brushes. They are the Sakura brand, and I have one of them. The top one is just filled with water, so it's what I normally use with my watercolor. The bottom one is actually what I'm using right now, which is my water brushes filled with ink. And I have a medium and a dark wash in those inks. You do have to work quickly. If they're on paper, you apply them to paper and they will stain. So you have to work quickly as far as getting them to spread, or you can go ahead and do a wet on wet with those and they spread fine. But once they are dry, they're permanent. They do not move like, you know, a normal watercolor would. So so that is the bottom one, and then just that last thing on the right side is my Bic Pen. I actually don't use a black Bic Pen. I normally use a blue one. No real reason, it's just that since I already have the Fineliner, I just like to change it up a bit and have the blue in there in case I want to journal and I don't want it to be too harsh. Since I already have the black, it just makes sense for me. So I am going to finish up painting these, and I'm just going to leave you with some music. I hope you enjoyed this. I would love to hear what your favorite supplies are, or maybe if you have some of the same supplies that I have, what's your favorite out of all of them? I would probably say that I definitely could not live without my paint and my brushes. I really like those, but I feel like this is a pretty short list, and it's easy, it's compact, and I love these pieces, so they go with me pretty much everywhere. Does anyone else have a to-go kit that even if you know you're not going to be painting that day, you take with you anyway? Because if you don't, then you feel almost naked, kind of like when you leave your cell phone at home. These are the supplies that I have to have with me so that I don't feel naked. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you have not, go ahead and subscribe so you can see future videos, and like it if you enjoyed this, and please comment below because I love chatting with you in the comment section. I will see you in my next one. Bye!